Okay, well, I guess I'm starting this conversation, or I thought you were going to start it.
I forgot what to say.
Well, why don't we introduce ourselves?
All right. Hello, YouTube. It's Scarlet Fury, previously Colorado Contraptions, and Dratta.
Dratta Arcana, and, well, what is this Pony Wars CCG?
This is a new card game that we've been working on.
Yes, uh, we've kind of kept it kind of under the wraps a little bit, not really delving too much into what all has been revealed. And, well, we're going to be talking about kind of like what we've been working on and kind of where the game has kind of been.
Yeah. Should be fun.
Should be. Very much so. So, and excuse me, my computer's having some tech issues at the moment.
Yay, tech issues.
Tech issues. So, Scarlet, for some reason, it keeps only doing it for like 53 seconds or whatever, and then booting me out of the link for some reason.
It's booting you out of the stream link?
Well, I don't know. Hold on. I'm going to try this a different method. Anyways, so so Scarlet, take us back to when the game was first made. Why don't you share that part of the story? How did this all get started?
So, a while back, like several months ago, Dratta approached me with the idea of this card game, but it was based off one of his previously old attempts at creating a card game that didn't quite work so well. So we were taking that and transforming it into what would become this Pony Wars CCG. And at the time, we were going through lots and lots of testing. There were quite a few nights we were staying up playing games against each other and realizing that certain cards were way overpowered and needed to be nerfed. And we were basically just testing and fine-tuning and adjusting and working through what would eventually become this card game.
Yeah, so it's interesting because I did approach you. What was it, back in like December?
Yeah, December.
Something like that. Like almost, what is that now? 7 months ago.
Yep.
I think it's almost like 7 months to the day. And so the question is that it's interesting because the initial attempt at this card game, like Scarlet had said, was that I had tried to create a game based around naval ships or something like that as a 12-year-old. I kind of had a thing for large numbers at that time. Because who wants to play a game where the hero ship or the flagship had 1 billion health? No one wants to do that.
That math would get tedious, yes.
Yes, it would be very tedious. Very meticulous. So, pardon the card game reference there. But, so, Scarlet, where was it that we tested the first tests of this game?
Oh, yes. Many nights, late nights spent at Dratta's table next to his kitchen, just literally writing the cards out on scrap paper and sticking them into sleeves and then playing the game.
Yep. Scarlet, I sent you a quick private message to confirm that for me. But, so, we we wanted to, kind of see, where we were at the time at the games. So, real quick, so this way we're confirmed that we're not having any more tech issues. Scarlet, the OBS should be recording with a timer. So I just need you to confirm that, because it would be really bad if it turns out that we're not on air, and I'd really hate for that to happen.
It does say live 5 minutes 50 seconds.
Yes.
But it does not say anything under recording.
Uh-oh. Have we really been... Uh-oh. I don't think it's live then.
Well, it says it's live, and YouTube says it's live.
Okay. Well, if those are saying it's live, then it's live.
Wait.
What?
Yeah.
It hasn't been...
YouTube does say it's live.
Okay, but it's not recording, is it?
No.
Uh-oh. Oops. So... tech issues.
Yay!
YouTube and OBS are doing what they're supposed to, but apparently it's not getting recorded. I hope YouTube records it. So anyways, back on track a little bit. So anyways, we just got a notice. Solar flare image, you're talking, but so apparently our volume on the solar flare image is really bad. Apparently we're quiet.
We're quiet?
Yeah, apparently we're really quiet. Okay. More tech issues. This conversation is going to be a long one.
So should I...
You might want to up those. Yeah, you should probably up those volumes.
Okay. Let me try that and that.
So that message came from one of our development team, and we'll get into all of that eventually.
Is that a bit better?
I hope so. We'll find out. Let me double check, because I can no longer actually watch the stream apparently. So okay, so apparently Scarlet, you're much better now.
Okay.
So
are you better though?
I am still the same volume, so you might need to up me too.
I have upped you quite a bit. I'm worried that it'll get into peaking range.
Ooh, you might have to.
Okay.
I don't know.
You are at max volume right now.
Okay, well, let's not up it anymore. I hope that's
I can't
sufficient.
up it past max volume.
Yeah, true. Okay, it's fine now. No, you probably want to drop me. It took him a second. It took it a second off. Tech issues. This is great. So just turn me down just a smidgen. So anyways, while we're talking here, let's go back to the so yeah, we pretty much played at my kitchen table, and 7 months have gone by of development. We've been going in and out and everything, between everything, and people have come onto the project. But let's get into the meat of kind of where we are. Let's talk about open beta at Ponyfest Online last month.
Oh, yes. That was where we first had our beta test with the starter decks.
Yes. Let's go over, before we even jump into that open beta, what did you think about meeting the team? Because you were on that conversation too. What was that? That was like 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah, 11 o'clock at night and a good 2-3 hour conversation.
So we actually met a lot of people on the team, from Andrew to the Timely Alchemist, to Databyte and everyone. And what was the level of energy in that conversation for that talk?
It was pretty high, pretty crazy.
What kind of stuck out to you about the team at that point? Like, what did you feel about the team at that time?
Mostly how everybody could think of things to say, and I was stuck there just trying to figure out what I would say.
Well, so I was actually really surprised, and I don't know why I was surprised by this, but I was shocked at the level of dedication that people had for the project. And it seems like that a lot of people are super excited about where the project is going and how it came to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that level of excitement, I didn't get to bed that night, I think until like 1 a.m. And I was on the early duty shift for open beta, so I got like 5 hours of sleep. I had like 5 hours of sleep the night before too, so I was working I think it was like 16 hours on open beta with 10 hours of sleep on the previous 2 days.
That's the best way to do it.
I know, right?
Always play card games on lack of sleep. It always ends well.
True, it does. So we actually got some pretty good feedback on the game then. And we discovered some of our abilities were a little too strong. Example, assassinate. I think that's been removed from the game.
Yeah, I didn't see it in the new rules.
Yeah, so we removed assassinate, and we'll go more into this here in a moment. And I think, the important thing is that we kind of explain, what we've been trying to do. And I think that that's a little bit more important. But so what kind of came out of that was we were introduced to Casimir Iskander, who's actually messaging me as we're talking. So basically, he's been really a big help. He's a friend of Andrew's, and he's also a professional card game designer, and he has come onto the project to help us out make this an even better game.
Mm-hmm.
And we should probably start showing people what that game looks like. So many of you may have remembered Queen Solar Flare on what she used to do with the Magic Surge and that
concentration.
But
I believe.
let's actually, concentration. Well, let's look at what she does now. So let's actually look into some of the new cards.
All right.
And what's kind of coming.
So here's Queen Solar Flare again with the new design.
So Queen Solar Flare still has Magic Surge. Yay, she still has Magic Surge. But what is this thing called Morale? Would you like to explain, Scarlet?
So Morale basically replaced the initial health that we had for each of the heroes. And this is essentially what you're going to need to keep track of. Make sure that doesn't reach 0 or you lose the game.
Yeah. And this was a suggestion by our new development team, because we are actually calling them the development team now. We have several teams working on the project, and we should probably quickly go over that. So there's the development team. We also have our artist team, and we have our web team. So Scarlet and I are kind of in charge of all of the teams, and we try to manage between those. So mostly, unfortunately, Scarlet's been really busy in his regular life. So, life in general. But, so Scarlet, what are your thoughts on the change to Morale?
It makes sense, but I am a little confused as to what other difference there might be between that. I haven't had a chance to look at the rules in depth, if they mention anything about that, but...
Yeah. So I think the reasoning behind Morale is that Morale is supposed to... basically, it's to separate the fact that the heroes have a different type of health then so you can think of morale as the hero's health pool, but we're calling it morale, which is more of a stylistic change to kind of fit the theme of the game. So
Okay.
the theme of the game in its initial concept is to kind of have a war zone between ponies and other creatures, and it was also, according to our development team, was to have a separate name in order to keep it mechanically distinct from life, which I think is also really helpful.
Yeah.
Because it can get really confusing because, as you're going to see here in the next couple slides, health is its own, life is its own thing. But so look at that ability real quick, Scarlet, and tell me what you see on Queen Solar Flare's new ability.
Well, first, one quick thing I wanted to note: Magic Surge actually has a number next to it now. It says Magic Surge 1.
Yep.
What does that actually mean in this context?
So that's its level of, I think that's its level of Magic Surge. So if like a card has Magic Surge 2, it will, so we won't probably see it because we're only showing 4 cards, but there are now tactics attack cards, and I'm sure my development team is gonna, and Magic Surge is also stackable as well, which it always was stackable in the base game, but now it actually requires, it doesn't activate when you attack, but it activates when you play a tactics card. Certain spells will actually have a Magic Surge on it to illustrate that level of Magic Surge. So I think that if it has Magic Surge 2, I believe the development team will correct me on this if I'm wrong, but if, say, you have Magic Surge 2, which I don't think will be a thing, but, you never know. It could be. The development team, of course, will correct us on this if we need to. And I think if it has Magic Surge 2, it adds 2 power to that attack as long as it can be affected by Magic Surge. Yeah, so some spells have a thing that say deal 1 magic plus Magic Surge to a target. So if you play a spell that deals 1 damage, apparently there's a dragon with Magic Surge 2. So apparently the way it would work is that if it has Magic Surge, it deals 1 damage, and if it has Magic Surge 2, it's plus 2 damage, so 3 damage.
Got it.
And that's the change to Magic Surge that's coming. Also, Queen Solar Flare has a really cool ability where once per turn you declare an attack. All the heroes are going to have this, apparently. It's the way it allows for you to have a default attack.
Okay.
And then Solar Flare may expand any number of her shield to add that much power to an attack. So her 9 shield, you can spend 9 just to, contribute 9 power.
Nice.
So
okay.
So that's actually an interesting thing. So why don't we look at Moonlight next?
All right.
Because Moonlight still has a very interesting ability. It still possesses Life Drain. Life Drain is staying in the game, folks. We're not removing it. Why would we do that? I know that a lot of people felt that Life Drain was really OP in the thing. I mean, Scarlet, what was your experience with Life Drain?
Well, not as admittedly not as frustrating as Assassinate, but it's still really powerful. It was really hard to keep your health up.
Yeah.
Especially when it initially drained 2 life.
Oh my gosh. So Life Drain was reworked, not entirely, but now it requires certain things to actually activate Life Drain. and it specifically targets morale. So now you basically have to perform a specific action on the card or do a specific thing to trigger the life drain. It's very specific on how it triggers. So if it only has one level of life drain, it's only going to drain 1 health. But if you have if a card has several life drains on it, it will life drain more health, which is, from my understanding, is how it's going to work. But it's going to require very specific activation. Yeah, as the development team has said, each card with life drain has a way to trigger it. So,
and quick note here, me and Dratta actually need to play with the new abilities and everything, and the new way that the cards have been worked, so that we can actually see how the game runs. That's how much. Yeah. That's how hard the development team has been working on this. They've changed so many things. It's great.
Oh no, it's absolutely phenomenal, and I've been working very closely with the development team on this. I just had a proxy game literally this afternoon real quick to kind of see how the turns and stuff work, and I'm actually very excited to see where it's going. It's a little more complicated than the initial design, but I think it's healthier for the game overall, and I absolutely love what the development team has done. There's still a lot of work to do, and so forth. So while, Scarlet and I still need to actually play the new game, this has become more of a professional gig than we were anticipating. Pretty much. And we're actually loving all the work that our teams put in. Keep in mind that a lot of us are very passionate about this project, and at the end, we'll give you guys some major updates. But before we get to those, let's talk about what an ally actually looks like.
Alrighty. Lieutenant Flash.
So a lot of you who participated probably in the beta probably remember this card as Flash Star, the assassin. He had search for an attack and assassinate. You'll notice this is no longer the case.
He does not have assassinate anymore.
No, he does not. Tears, not really. We are very proud that assassinate as a keyword is gone from the game.
It was very, very difficult to keep allies on the field while assassinate was a thing.
Yes. Especially in the starter decks. So you may notice, first off, that he's got 3 attack.
Ooh.
And those of you that played in the open beta are probably like, wait a minute, that's higher than his 1 attack before. What happened? Well, it's the new combat system, with the heroes allowing allies now to declare an attack once per turn. And so the development team wants me to remind you that about how the stats correlate with their races and stuff. While I appreciate that sentiment, I think that for the most part, we have a lot to cover in this stream. So to prevent from going on too long, we're going to try to skip a lot of the smaller, tiny, minute details, because we also need to go over a lot of other stuff too. But so Scarlet,
we might be able to get to those minute details in later streams, though.
In later streams, yeah, we'll be able to have more details then. So Scarlet, did you get a chance to read through that whole the new combat system?
I did read through it once or twice. I'm still a little confused as to how it plays out, but maybe once I actually see it in action, I'll be able to grasp it. I tend to be more of a kinesthetic learner, so that's probably what I need.
Very true. So I had a chance to try it out, and basically, so the way it works now in the game is that it's your turn. You perform an action. Then your opponent gets a chance. He performs an action. And you both perform actions until neither player wants to perform an action. One of the actions you can do is you can have your hero do what's called a default attack and have your allies actually attack, and you target the ally you want to attack. Or you could choose the hero, or you could choose a location, which we're not going to get into locations in this stream. That's for another stream.
It's a new card, though.
It's a new card. So basically, you choose, say I want to choose Lieutenant Flash as my target. So I'm going to add up the power of all my allies and take it straight to the ally's shield. But I have to remove all shield of involved allies or heroes, because your opponent now gets to add additional blockers. So they can actually force their hero into the fight now.
Interesting.
So, but you have to eradicate all of the shield. So you have to get through the hero's shield, the ally's shield, and all of it before you can do damage to health and morale. So it's really so that's kind of how it's working now. And shield and stuff still doesn't regenerate until the start of the turn, but now both players' shields, magic, all regenerate at the start of each player's turn rather than individually. And that's kind of how the combat works. But you can only perform the default attack once, but you can perform other like special attacks if you have attack cards that specifically, are attacks. There's different tactics in the games, and attacks are also tactics. So you potentially can get 2 attacks per turn, but you normally only do 1.
Got it.
But either player can attack during the turn. So, speaking of spells and tactics,
the next card,
the last card we're going to show, is a very interesting card because you may notice something at the top. What the heck is the name of this card?
So it turns out those are actually legitimate runes, and the translation of those runes is right below it in the italicized text.
Yep. So we decided to be a little more creative with some of the spells, and we gave them ruined names. I actually like this. This is more of a stylistic choice for the game than anything else, and I think it fits the theme of the world. And
it's definitely a cool feature. I love it.
Oh, I absolutely love this. And you may notice that this card is move up to 2 allies you don't control from the sky to the land zone if legal, then exhaust them. This is actually an interesting thing because the game currently actually was reworked. So, Scarlet, do you remember when I first proposed the rules about allies with, like, being Pegasus can only be played the Sky Zone?
Yes, although I seem to recall something about you saying that they could also be played to the ground zone at some point.
Well, no, so they were reworked to be able to be played in the ground zone. Remember that? Remember when I had to make that change because someone said that, if they're a Pegasus, they should also be able to land?
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, no, that's been reworked. We've reverted.
Okay.
So the original ruling of Pegasi only being able to be played to Sky Zone has now been reverted to where they can only enter the Sky Zone.
So we changed one direction and then went back to the other direction.
But this is like a ruling from like ancient times. This is back to but the reasoning for this is that you can actually target both zones regardless of where you're attacking from. So there is that. Um, so, the new combat system lends itself to actually being able to have that rule in there. So,
Got it.
So, speaking of lore, did you get a chance to read the lore? And why don't we go back to that title screen? Because now we're just going to get into the lore of it all. The more fun stuff.
The story and the adventure behind the cards.
Yep. So, did you get a chance to read through that outline I sent you?
A little bit, yes. It was a very rough outline, so I only know the basics.
Yeah, it's an insanely rough outline, and that was kind of intentional. So what is this lore of this world? What happened? Why is there a war?
Let me see if I can recall what's going on here. Basically, each of the kingdoms of ponies and creatures have different skills that they're adept at, and based off that, they value certain things, and in those values, they focus mainly on those sorts of traits and values as they're fighting. But I'm trying to remember how the war started. I think it was Queen Solar Flare.
It was. So the backstory here is that Queen Solar Flare basically thought that the Moonlit Empire basically was practicing necromancy, which actually the Moonlit Empire specializes in necromancy as a form of rebirthing their friends and family. So they don't see it as dark magic, they see it as granting their friends and allies immortality. Because who wouldn't want their friends and family to stay around forever? They're just undead. So, it's interesting because Queen Solar Flare really values, like, the concept of power and, which, if you've been following the game, as it's been shown, Equestrian Daily specifically said that it's basically Celestia and Luna, except renamed. I don't 100% agree with that, but I can't deny that that was the intention of the starter deck.
Except that I don't think Celestia or Luna would have approved of necromancy either way.
Very true. So, I don't know. So many documents regarding the game. So one of the things is that I found that creating the lore of this game was definitely one of the more thrilling aspects of the work for what we've done. And I'm trying to pull up that document, and for some reason I can't locate it. More tech issues. Here we go. Here's the story outline.
Yeah.
So anyways, so the Solar Empire, ruled by Queen Solar Flare, this is their beliefs. They believe in magical power as everything, has a great bias against dark magic, honor and straight up fights, powerful magic as seen, basically they consist of wizards, knights, strategists. The Moonlit Empire, on the other hand, belief is life and death are one and the same. As such, both are very heavily connected. The use of necromancy is a way to keep loved ones around to help those live longer lives. Life is important, but death is seen as a continuation of life, as death is a way to grant immortality. So, necromancy is a way to bring back your friends and family. Wouldn't that be nice? To bring back your friends and family? Except you have an empire that's like across the dark forest, because there's a dark forest that separates humans. It gets crazy. So, what's interesting though is that Moonlight's backstory. unlike unlike the Empire, unlike the Moonlit Empire, each of the heroes will have a backstory. And Moonlight's is that she specialized in stealing the soul to grant herself immortality, which eventually became forbidden magic once Moonlight realized killing a soul is the equivalent of stopping the ability to bring them back to life. Anyways, I can go on and on about the story, but so we do plan on making the story available at some point when we actually make the game. So fanfic writers, when it comes out, to your stations.
You can have
We
blasts. Yes.
Yes, you can. Yes.
Who knows? Maybe we'll.
But
Maybe when it gets real situated, we'll even have a contest.
yeah, maybe we will. And whoever wins the contest, maybe we'll make your OC into a card.
That would be cool.
That would be amazing. So with the kind of the lore, because I can go on and on about the lore. I just love everything about this game, and kind of like, without going into too much additional depth, maybe we'll have a stream specifically about lore, so we can go more into depth into the world and stuff.
Yeah.
So, Scarlet, where are we? Where are we right now in the production of this game? Like, how far into production are we?
Well, it's definitely getting really close. Really, really close.
Well, maybe it's close, maybe it's not. We'll let you all know at the end of the stream. But another thing, too, is we're definitely super excited
Yes.
for the game, aren't we?
Oh, yes.
So, while I've been talking mostly, Scarlet, what are your thoughts and memories of all of this?
Well, my personal favorite thing that I enjoyed seeing come together was the art and the cards themselves. Like the design of templates of the cards coming together with the art to actually look like an actual full-fledged card. It was so gratifying to see, oh my gosh, this is coming together like a real card game. This feels authentic. This feels genuine. I can't wait to play this. Because all the art done by the Timely Alchemist is amazing. She has done a phenomenal job. And I can't wait to see what she can come up with for the rest of the cards.
Yeah. And, we've been working really hard on both the development front, the art front, trying to get everything ready. And, I've been preparing a lot of other stuff, all the online stuff and it all. And it's amazing at what's coming together. And, stuff that's coming in the future are, potentially play mats and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're definitely going to be having this art for, you can buy the playmat arts and stuff and all that. So that is coming. So, Scarlet, what are kind of your questions right now for me? Because we should probably talk about, stuff that you need to know. Because obviously I haven't been able to share everything with you. We should go over that stuff.
Yeah, so my biggest question right now is, how do I play the new game with the new rules and everything? Because you sent me the rules link, and I read through them, and most of it made sense, but I do need to see it, like, physically in action with the cards.
Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, that's not something I kind of want to do on a stream. So we could definitely play at some point.
Okay.
I kind of want to give the development team like another week to kind of get it all together before, both of us play a game.
Okay.
And I definitely want to give them a little bit more time to work out the bugs, because they still have to make 5 other cards.
Oh, okay. I was not aware of that.
So Yeah, no, they haven't fully made all the cards yet, and there's a couple things that apparently they want to talk about, and that's fine. So we're definitely going places on the development front. So Scarlet, one of the things that's been a reoccurring thing between us is, you kind of what you want to work on and stuff. And I think that you designing the play mats is definitely going to be really good. So your first piece of news is the artist doing the back card art started this week.
Oh, excellent.
So that should be done here maybe in a couple weeks.
Okay.
I don't know how long it's going to take her to do it.
Right.
But this was a different artist than the Timely Alchemist. And another thing, our good friend from the CCG, the MLP CCG community, Living Silver, may be joining the team of artists.
Right.
Maybe.
I remember you mentioning
that.
Yes.
Yeah. So if he does, we may be having another artist work on card art. We'll see how it goes. I still haven't fully negotiated that yet, but
okay.
But that is coming. If that does happen, we will be expanding the number of cards. I'd hate to say that publicly, but we may be. Don't take it as a guarantee, folks. No promises.
There's a lot of changes in this process.
There are. There's a good chance that if we do get a second artist, we can expand the number of cards. But, that's all going to come down to other stuff. So, other news. Probably the big one for these streams. So, Scarlet and I, what's our goal for this, Scarlet? I'll let you say it.
I'm trying to remember what you said it was. I forgot it all of a sudden.
Always happens when we're streaming, doesn't it? Or when we're talking.
Yeah, it's like having that one thing that you really wanted to say at the tip of your tongue, but you just can't remember what for the life of you what it is.
Very true. So I think what we're going to do is these are going to be once a month streams where Scarlet and I just chat about the game and kind of what we're working on, what's going down. Because a month is enough time to kind of cover content and stuff for us to gather content together. Remember, a lot of us have other lives outside of just this. So we are working this almost as a second, like for me, it's a second full-time job. So I'm trying my best to work a regular full-time gig that I'm really passionate about. And then this job, which I'm really passionate about. So I'm in a very happy place having these two lives, but it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I think is our goal is once we get it up in the air is that we will be opening a Patreon. This one is kind of a freebie to everyone, kind of just saying, hey, we've been working on this. Enjoy. And then basically once we do this one, hopefully by next month, we'll have the Patreon up and running. You'll still be able to see these because hopefully they'll be recorded and uploaded to YouTube where you can see them, but the actual live stream will only be available to patrons and the team. Is kind of our hope. That's how we want it to work. I'm not guaranteeing that that's how it's going to happen. Another thing too is once we do get the Patreon up and running, we have some deadlines to talk about. But before we get to those deadlines for our teams, let's go over any final remarks. Unless we want to keep talking, Scarlet, because I'm fine with that too.
I mean, if I had more to say, I could keep talking, but for some reason, I'm drawing blanks.
Oh no! Oh no! You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of every time we play a game.
You mean where I draw a mediocre hand and you draw god hands?
Every time?
Yes.
Touche. So, you know, I don't feel bad. Yet I do feel bad.
Someday I'll beat you. Mark my words.
You know, you're just gonna have to put a pin in it. One day you'll be sibling supreme.
Wow. But we're not even siblings. How does that work?
True. Touche there. Wait a minute. We don't have to be biological siblings. I mean, come on. Twilight and Spike. There you go.
But that's more of a mother-son relationship.
Okay. Well, anyways, before we get to
comedic tangents.
Yeah. So actually, let's touch on this because it's been a big question for a lot of people. And do you know what that question is? The biggest question that we're facing from a lot of individuals about the game.
When the game's coming out?
Well, there's that. I think we've been getting that question a lot too. But about the issue with the fact that it's ponies.
Oh.
So just did not go into too much depth of copyright. How much effort have we put in to make sure this stays completely separate from anything out there, despite being heavily based off MLP? How much effort have we put in?
Gadzooks amount.
Yes. So we're talking about a project where we have literally done everything that we can to make sure we won't get a cease and desist.
Yes. Because that would just be sad.
It would be very sad if we did get one of those. So not only have we renamed cards, we've created our own lore. All the naming of cards is separate from anything out there. We have been very thorough in this regard, and we've been doing a good job of it. And I think that, you know, when this does come out, which we will have a notice here soon. So Scarlet, switching tangents, why are we doing this on your channel?
This is to get the game more out there so that more of you can get hyped for it. Because at some point you'll be able to test it, and then you'll be able to have some fun playing it yourself.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, we have a mod for the game
on Tabletop Simulator.
On Tabletop Simulator, it needs to be updated with the new stuff, but that won't be done for at least another week and a half, most likely. So the development team has been making changes at a very rapid rate, and I'm talking like very rapid. Like literally, we threw the development team together like I think 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I'm actually impressed with what they've come out with, and I love what they're doing. But they have a lot of work to make sure that we stay on our appropriate once-a-month deadlines and to make sure that we get things updated. So no news yet on when the next open beta will be, but just know that if it's not TrotCon Online 2020, it will be probably Ponyfest Online for the month of June. I'm still waiting to submit a panel myself because they haven't allowed us to submit panels yet. But
Hmm.
so just keep your eyes out. Any notices that we will release, we'll definitely try to get it over to the appropriate mediums so that way everyone knows about it. We're trying to be very open and very public with the game as much as we can without, how should I put it, revealing everything. Because we like leaks and spoilers, but we don't want them to be overabundance.
That would be like getting spoiled on a episode you haven't seen yet.
Jeez, I don't know why in the world anyone would have a problem with that.
Speaking from experience here.
The bane of a blind reactor.
Yes.
Anyway, so I know that Scarlet and I still have a lot to do in regards to this game, and we wanted to update you guys on as much as possible and kind of like share our personal thoughts about the game and where it's been over the last 7 months. I swear we've been through, I think, 30 iterations of the game already. I think we're on like 34 now.
That sounds about right. It's a lot.
It is. It's a lot. So now we're going to answer everyone's dream questions. The first dream question is, what is the release date for this game?
Dun dun dun!
Dun dun dun! We have an official release date for the Pony Wars CCG. The war will officially begin April 10th, 2021. That is the date that the release date will actually be. That is our official release date. That is the release date we are aiming for. April 10th, 2021. And I believe that that's correct. Let me double check. Because Lord knows if I get this wrong. It's only been said a couple times, and I'm pretty sure that was correct. Let's see. I got to go back in the creators channel. Because that's the only place. Yeah, April 10th, 2021 is the release date. Look for it then. But on other news, we have a pre-order date as well.
Ooh.
The date that you can start pre-ordering the game. So the pre-orders, we haven't set it up yet, but we're most likely going to do it through Kickstarter. Pre-orders date when you can start pre-ordering, get this, is going to be July 10th, 2020. Dun dun dun! Only less than a month away. You can pre-order the game. So, is that not exciting news, Scarlet?
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah, that's your chance to get your place locked down so that you'll have the cards before anybody else.
Yep. So basically, you'll be able to pre-order the cards. We will make a more formal announcement once we have the pre-order site set up and the Patreon set up. All of that will hopefully go live July 10th of this year. And even though you probably won't get your cards until, the actual release date of April, but you can start locking down your order now. So if you do the orders now, you'll have several months to do them. But we want to make sure that everyone gets their stuff on the release date. So we're hoping to have a production date for the team, which I'm not going to share here because that's specific to each team section. But we are hoping to have it completed by that date. And we'll be making more formal announcements definitely once we get the sites up and running.
Right.
So
later down the road, yeah.
Yeah. It'll be at least a couple weeks before we get those sites up and running. But, exciting news. Definitely. I'm excited. Are you excited, Scarlet?
Yeah.
I can't wait for the game to be printed. Why can't I play my Moonlight now? I want the physical card now. Be patient. I know everyone's desperate to get their hands on cards.
And in my case, I like tinkering with decks, so once the physical cards are out, then I'll finally be able to tinker, come up with something.
I know, right? Oh, I can't wait to be able to start building decks. So I'm super stoked that we now have a release date and a pre-order date. So I hope, people definitely look forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's exciting news. So any last thoughts, Scarlet?
Nope. I think that covers pretty much everything I have to say.
All right. Well, then we will see you all again next month. I know that I talked a lot. Dratta talks a lot.
That could be the alternate stream title. Dratta talks a lot.
Dratta does talk a lot. Well, I maybe we should clarify our positions on this game. So, what's your position, Scarlet?
Co-creator.
And I'm the head creator, Dratta Arcana. So, needless to say, I kind of know a lot about the game. Scarlet knows a good amount too. So, it's exciting that we're finally, doing these, and we feel comfortable to where we've done enough development to get these to this state.
Yeah.
So, it's been a lot of work for everyone, a lot of stress. Needless to say, I think we both had our moments of argument
and doubt.
And doubt. I mean, there was a point where I think I went 2 to 3 weeks without even touching the game. I was just in so much doubt about it. But it's one of those things where you have to realize that if you want this to succeed, you're gonna have doubts.
Mm-hmm.
But all you got to do is just keep trying. And now look at it. It's a much bigger project than we initially thought, and it's been a great to have all these teams helping out and stuff. So let's give a shout out to our team members.
Woo!
because you guys have done a fantastic job and continue to keep up the work.
Yes.
So just a couple exclusive mentions. Especially from the development team of Andrew. I think his name, Andrew Helleborn, I think is his last name. He can correct me if I get that wrong. And then we got Alexander, also on the development team. I don't know his exact last name, but Alexander has been doing a fantastic job. We got Maverick. He's our web guy. He's been helping me get the Patreon and the Discord and everything up and running. Our artist, Timely Alchemist and Midnight Premiere. Fantastic artwork, guys. Keep it up. We look forward to having Living Silver join us eventually. Overall, just fantastic work, guys. Databyte has been great on the help with the sales stuff and getting us ready for printing.
Yeah.
We're not quite there yet, but
soon.
Databyte is locked in. So fantastic work, everyone. Our beta tester team, hopefully we will have the game in a private beta testing situation here soonish. Maybe in the next week and a half. Whenever, I can get to it. Or whenever the development team is ready to get to move it to that stage.
Right.
I just can't thank the team enough. and Scarlet and I love the team, the passion on the project. Well, I shouldn't speak for you, Scarlet, since you're on the stream. You could totally hate the team for all I know.
No, I love them too. It's great.
It is very, very encouraging. It wasn't until that 11 p.m. team meeting that I realized how passionate everyone was, and I really appreciate everyone's work and stuff. And let's, as a team, let's continue to do our best.
Yeah. Yep.
And we just got news that was intended to be used by the PDF just needs the symbols. So we should have something for the beta testers here this weekend. Woo!
Sweet.
Sweet. So, good news for the beta tester. So, once again, for everyone else, look forward to the pre-orders coming. You'll be able to start pre-ordering July 10th, 2020. We'll probably have the time set to noon that day. So, you can get your pre-orders right away. So, overall, though, Scarlet, I think we're about done.
Yes, I think we've covered most everything, if not everything.
Yes. So, probably one last thing. No, I probably shouldn't talk about the plushies, but oops, I let it slip. More on that at a later time. We don't want to give away too much information on that right now. But there is a possibility that something like that could come. Maybe. Not guaranteeing anything, because we never guarantee anything. But just look forward to the next open beta. It is coming. We just don't know when.
Yes. And hopefully all this COVID stuff will make it less tedious.
Yes. Definitely. I don't think we were supposed to say that on stream, but
oops.
Yes.
Well, we both let something slip. There, we're equal.
Quiet. Mine was an intentional slip. I wanted to leak that. Something about plushies. That's all I'm going to say on the topic.
Plushies.
But you might be able to order one. Maybe.
Yes, add to the plush collection.
Yes. We're still working on the details of that, so I don't want to give away too much. That's my job to make sure that we communicate with the appropriate parties, make sure that we're doing everything correctly. So, in the meantime, Scarlet, I think we should call it quits here.
Alrighty. We'll see you guys in the next stream.
See you in the next stream.
Have a good one.